I am on a mission. There's a bunch of restaurants that when you go to eat there, they try to entice you with free bread. And that got me thinking, out of all the restaurants, which one has the best free bread? So I'm going to go to a number of these restaurants, eat their free bread, and put it all on a tier list so that you and I know where our money is best well spent. Or I guess in the bread's sense, best well not spent. Regardless, we're eating bread. And our first stop is Cheesecake Factory. If I remember correctly, they have the brown bread. So we're gonna go inside and try the brown bread. That's kind of what this whole video is about. I had to wait about 5-ish minutes before we started our journey, which normally would not bother me, but like, I'm just there for the bread. I didn't mention this in the intro, but whatever restaurant ends up having the best free bread will get my first ever 5-star Google review. I feel, kind of underdressed. No one else in here is wearing a hat. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That was our server. She was nice. After a couple minutes of waiting, we did get our bread, and I gotta say, I was not very impressed.
I don't feel like it's really anything special. It's just bread.
The brown bread was just like a basic sweet bread, and then the white bread bit me back. It actually hurt me. The white bread was also simply just too crunchy. I ordered bread, not potato chips.
Especially this. Like, look how I have to fight it. It just isn't that good to me. Call me crazy, and I think some people will in the comments. I'm going C tier for this bread. Dare I say, Cheesecake Factory disappointed me. I don't think I said anything about the butter, so I'll say that quickly. It's butter, and that's basically about it. Hopefully the next place won't be disappointing because I love bread. I think everybody loves bread. But let's move on to our next place, and let's get this bread.
We are at Outback Steakhouse, and it's kind of windy, so I hope you can hear me. I've never eaten here in my entire life. I don't know what kind of bread they have, but it was on lists online, so I assume there actually is free bread to be had. Only other thing I know about Outback Steakhouse is I'm pretty sure they're Australian, so maybe we'll see a kangaroo. That's the only thing I know about Australia. That's kind of all I got. It's very quiet in here, so I'm not gonna yell. The bread comes on a knife here. It's like a skewer.
One critique, tiny amount of butter for large loaf.
The butter is very spreadable. I know it's a weird thing to be like excited about, but it spreads really nice. That is so much better than Cheesecake Factory's. It's not as sweet as Cheesecake Factory's is. And it's pillowy, it's soft, but I'm already ready to give a rating. This bread right here is gonna be B tier. But another upside, I did see a kangaroo while I was in here, which is pretty awesome. I also saw an Easter koala. Don't know where else you could see an Easter koala, but an Outback Steakhouse. Quick voiceover interjection here. My wife got a drink that came with a free crocodile. That may not sound like super important information to you, but it was to me, because it was fun. With Outback Steakhouse getting a B tier, it is now time for our next free bread, and it's red. Lobster. That's where we're going, is Red Lobster. All right, I'm doing this part quickly because it's raining. We are at Red Lobster to get free bread, and my wife is already on her way inside. But they have the legendary cheddar biscuits, which are a lot different than anything we've tried today.
All right, so there's a couple things to start off with. First off, it's quiet in here again, so I have to talk very close to the microphone. And then they did say that they are waiting on bread, so we also will be waiting on our bread. While we were waiting for our legendary biscuits, my wife decided that she wanted to share her inner monologue with you guys, and I don't think she thought that I would actually include it in the video, so here it is.
I would like to voice a complaint. I don't know if this is lawsuit worthy, but their rolls are supposed to be freshly baked every 15 minutes, and it's been 23 minutes. That's not 15 minutes. I want my biscuits.
I have a small criticism for the Lobster. It took 30 minutes for us to get our bread. But when we did get it, I was so in love with these biscuits, dude.
They're so fresh.
It tasted like they put cheese inside of a biscuit and then they sent it up to heaven for God to give it a kiss before they baked it. You might call that dramatic, but I call that accurate.
All right, official time to rate the biscuits. Easiest S tier I've ever given out in my life. My wife and I just went there and only ate the biscuits and left, and I'm honestly quite happy with the fact that we did that. And there's not many places that you can do that, where you can go in, get free bread, and leave and be happy. Now it's time to go to our next place and get that bread. We are going to
Carrabba's. It's actually like 2, maybe 3 days since I've eaten free bread, and I got all dressed up because the next 3 places are the most fancy places that we will be eating at. This place is very much out of my tax bracket, but let's find out if their bread's good.
I just met my server. His name is Chad, I think, and he seemed very nice. The thing that sets this place apart above any of the other places I've been to thus far is this oil. This oil here is for your bread. So instead of butter or anything, you get oil. But without further ado, let's taste some bread and oil.
The bread was simply incredible.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It was super fluffy on the inside, but crunchy on the outside. I cannot explain how awesome the oil was. I do think I used too much oil though, because later in the day, my stomach got really upset. And whenever I burped, it tasted like oil. When it comes to ranking this bread, I don't know what to do because the bread was incredible. It was really, really good, but it was not a Cheddar Bay biscuit from Red Lobster. But you know what Red Lobster didn't have? It didn't have a man like Chad. Every place I've gone to, I've at least got like a Sprite or something, so they have a reason to charge me so I can still tip them. So when I ask for some stuff to go, he just shows up, hands me a bag for my bread and says, "You're all good, have a great day." No, Chad, no.
You're a legend, Chad. I appreciate it.
You're all good to go, brother. Don't worry about anything. You're all good.
You can't. No, I need you to
okay.
charge me for something. I gotta be able to tip you, brother. He just tried not to charge me, like not even for my drink. Can I get a W, Chad? I'm making sure I pay for something so I can at least tip him. But yeah, can we get a W, Chad, in the comments?
Chad was trying to not charge me for anything. And like I got a Sprite. He could have charged me for my Sprite, which is probably like $2.50. He did not do that. He charged me 1 penny so that I could tip him. Chad is an absolute legend. And at the end of this video, I was gonna be giving a Google review to whoever had the best bread, but Carrabba's is gonna get one and it's just gonna say W Chad. So in conclusion, their bread is A tier at best, but their Chad is S tier. But now it is time to go to our next restaurant that has free bread. This place is arguably fancier than Carrabba's. I'm just kidding. The next place was only fancy to me when I was a kid. Now that I'm older, I realize it's really not that fancy. We're going to Olive Garden. And they have a lot to live up to. I mean, I just met Chad. Anyway, we're at Olive Garden. Let's go inside. They have bread sticks here.
Be straight up with you, I'm just here for breadsticks and a Sprite.
The breadsticks were super fresh, but by golly, Miss Molly, were they over-seasoned. The sodium content of these breadsticks was insane. The Alfredo sauce was not life-changing, but I will add that it was a lot better than the Great Value Alfredo I use at home. I also got free mints, which has nothing to do with the breadsticks, but it was a really nice gesture. It is now time to rate Olive Garden. I'm gonna have to say, they were some very fresh breadsticks, but due to the over-seasoning, I cannot rank them higher than a B tier. But yeah, if those weren't fresh, that would have killed it for me. The other part that killed it just a little bit for me is my waitress charged me for the bread, which makes Olive Garden the first place officially to charge me for my bread. It was only $4, and like the rule is if you don't get an entree, you have to pay for your breadsticks, so I'm not gonna be mad about it. But I will say, no one else has charged me yet, so come on, Olive Garden. And now it is time for our last place. The place that I warned you is the fanciest place of the entire video.
Texas Roadhouse. After a quick break to go home, use the bathroom, and then go to Chuck E. Cheese. Yes, that is my cousin dancing with Chucky himself. We have now made our way to the last and most fancy place, Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse is not fancy.
Clearly, she doesn't know how they do it down there in Tejas, Texas.
It was unbelievably loud in that restaurant, so we're gonna do all voiceover from now on. There was a How I Met Your Mother reference right above the bar, which I gotta say is a fat W. Greatest sitcom of all time. If you disagree, you're wrong. I also had a ton of fun filming myself in the reflection on the tap in the bar, which has nothing to do with the bread, but I just wanted to tell you about it. We eventually got our bread, and if there's one thing you know about Texas Roadhouse, it is those rolls with the cinnamon butter. Pairing a fluffy roll with the sweet, creamy butter is just a match that is made in heaven. And you can probably see that in the reaction on my face. Although I will say, since the last time I was at Texas Roadhouse, I'm pretty sure they shrunk their rolls. So they're gonna lose points for that. It is now car time. It was way too loud in there to actually use my microphone, so I hope you enjoyed the voiceover that I just did. It is now time to put it on the tier list. I'm gonna say that because of the butter, they are S tier rolls. The rolls themselves would be lucky to get a B tier, to be 100% honest with you. She disagrees very clearly, but it's that cinnamon butter that you come to Texas Roadhouse for. And by golly, Miss Molly, are those not enough to make it an S tier? It was so good. But now it's time for me to go home and consider my thoughts, because we have two breads that are S tier, and there can really only be one winner. Well, besides Chad. Chad's always going to be the winner. Ladies and gentlefish, we have reached the end of our totally scientific experiment. And before I share the results with you, I want to tell you that Jesus loves you. I used to be a very fearful person, and I've had many, many different biggest fears over my life. But my biggest fear now is one day I'm going to die, and I'm going to go to heaven, And my biggest fear is that I won't see you there. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus, there's never a bad time to start. And if you are in need of prayer in any way, shape, or form, you can either leave it down in the comments below or you can DM me on Instagram at TheNateCraft, because there was nothing that I would love to do more than to pray for you. So what is the results of our bread experiment? Who has the best bread? I'm here to tell you. We had 2 breads and 1 person get ranked as S tier. The S tier breads were Red Lobster and Texas Roadhouse, and the S tier person was Chad. I don't have a picture of Chad, so this is just a generic Google photo of somebody. I don't know who this is. But one of the 2 S tier breads, in my opinion, was just miles ahead of the other. And ladies and gentlefish, that is Red Lobsters. The Cheddar Bay biscuits, or whatever they're called, they are just miles ahead. And I think one of my biggest deciding factors of this is because at Red Lobster, there's no butter or anything that you need to make those rolls good. They come to your table and you eat them and they're good. And as I promised, I have 2 Google reviews that I need to write. If you watch this video to the end, I think you would benefit from subscribing. If you liked this video, I'm sure you're going to like all the videos I've already made and the ones I'm going to make. And don't forget, Jesus loves you. Have a fantastic day.